Hello, welcome to the Diablo 3 podcast. We are online at DiabloInkGamers.com. I am your host, Flux, and I'm joined on the show tonight by Nerdwords.
Hello.
Not Wards, because I keep mangling it every other post. And Empty One.
Hello.
Or is it Empty 2?
It's number 1, because I'm
Okay, I want to mess up your name as well, though. And I am Flax, as you know. And this is a sort of a mini podcast focused entirely on seasons. We're recording this on Thursday night, and the seasons are starting in, 22 hours. The seasons are going live, in U.S. servers anyway. Mm-hmm. And both you guys are all ready to season your ways to perfection.
Correct.
Like Bobby Flay, you're going to be seasoning everything, right?
So much seasoning. And,
yeah, does he even season? He just eats broad beef. But, yeah, so seasons are starting, and we're going to post this. You should be listening to this Friday morning or Friday afternoon, getting yourself all hyped up for the seasons. And we are talking about what you guys are planning, how you're going to be rolling, what your classes are, all that kind of stuff. So just general background question. Did you guys do Diablo 2 seasons? Have you done seasons or ladder runs in other video games? Is this the kind of thing you like to do when you're gaming, or is this the first time for you? Go ahead, Nerdwords.
Yeah, I did this pretty much all through Diablo 2. Pretty much every ladder reset, even the most recent one that was a few months back with Diablo 3 out, I still ran it. It was just always fun starting a new character, starting fresh with new economy, fresh economy, and getting in there and trying to be on the ladder. This one's a little more interesting because it's not level-based, but I'm still really, really excited to get in, get max level, and start running rifts.
And so do you play like 12 hours a day for a week and then you don't touch it for 6 months, or do you keep going?
It depends. Back in Diablo 2, I was actually doing I'm going to play for 18 hours, and then when I go to work for 8 or whatever, my friend would jump on and play for me, and then I'd come home from work and play more until I passed out, and so on and so forth. But with this one, I've just got a group I'm running with, and we're going to go from there.
What is your plan, Empty One, and your background on this story?
As far as background goes, I didn't get to partake of the Diablo 2 ladders. I have a little bit of experience with this idea, though, with character building and trying out just about every build you can imagine in RPGs. Unfortunately, that's not necessary here in Diablo 3, because once you have your character at max level, you can do whatever you want with them. So I'm really excited to actually partake in a leveling race. It kind of makes me think of leaderboards on other competitive games.
Have you done other competitive games, that kind of thing?
I was way into the shooters, so that was my...
So you're used to diving in like fully, madly, passionately in a ladder reset sort of thing?
That's exactly right, and I'm hoping that I don't have the experience that you mentioned earlier where you burn out very quickly. Being that I've already played the character I plan on playing here on this ladder race.
What did you guys do when Diablo 3 launched? Did you both get to 70 in 2 days, or did you work into it more gradually or something?
Oh, I absolutely. I jumped.
For 70 would have been tough in Diablo 3 launch. You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, I jumped straight in. I know for both the Diablo 3 and Reaper of Souls release, I actually took a whole week off of work just to get straight in and play and do nothing but that. But I'm also kind of a super freak, so...
Unfortunately, I did not have the opportunity to play nonstop when it first launched. I did not get to 60 until, I think, 2 or 3 days after launch. God,
you slacker.
Right. I had to work.
Probably went to the bathroom once or twice, too.
Such a noob. Jeez, you got to poop in your chair.
But there is an advantage to that, too, though, right? Because then you have friends that are already over-leveled to you, and they can help you out a little bit.
See, I'm usually that friend.
Yeah. I'll keep that in mind, Nerdwords.
Yeah, hit me up, man.
It's starting in 22 hours. What have you guys done to prepare? I mean, have you got your Red Bull IV ready to roll, or taking time off work, or is it not that big a deal? What are you doing, Nerdwords?
Well,
you said you took a week off before Diablo 3. You said you were too busy this time, though?
Yeah, well, not really too busy. Blizzard just did a really bad time about letting us know ahead of time. They let us know 4 or 5 days in advance, so I didn't have time to get my schedule prepared and all that stuff. I do have a fridge stocked with Mountain Dew and Red Bull and Hot Pockets, and I'm ready to go.
One of those WoW? Is it that WoW flavored Mountain Dew?
No, it's just standard.
So it looks like Mana or Life Potion?
Yeah, it's just your basic Mountain Dew. I was on a Code Red kick for the past month, but I'm going back to basic now. I know it's very serious for everyone to know, but yeah, just a lot of caffeine. I plan on playing until about 6 or 7 a.m., and then I have to be at work at 11 a.m. on a Saturday, and then I'll be off by 9. I'll be back on, and then hopefully playing all the way through till Monday.
Well, the bar has been raised, Empty One. Can you limbo beneath it or leap over it?
I can leap over it for the weekend because I don't have to work. I'm actually happy that Blizzard decided to launch it before the 3-day weekend. Unfortunately, those of us who have work schedules that are related to education have just now gotten back into the kick of having to go into work every day during the week. So I will be playing nonstop Friday as soon as I get home from work until I pass out on Friday night, and then all of Saturday, all of Sunday, and as much of Monday as I can possibly force myself to play.
And none of you guys are bummed about the first weekend of college football you're going to miss out on?
Oh, it's really disappointing.
It'll be on the TV in the background probably, right?
Perhaps
not.
I grew up in Ohio and I live in Alabama, so I kind of detest a lot of college football.
I don't think you're allowed to test college football if you live in Alabama.
I am if I'm not an Alabama fan. I mean, I root for the teams because I live here, but like I'm not I'm not freaking out about their teams. I watch more NFL.
Well, that's next weekend.
Yep.
So there you go. You're completely screwed and roll tide.
Yeah, yeah.
So have you guys tested much on the PTR? I mean, there's a lot of things changed in patch 2.1, but I haven't really itemized it that carefully. But it doesn't seem like a lot of the changes will matter from 1 to 70. You know, the changes are more to the end-game stuff, and you start getting legendary gems and everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, have you been researching how you're going to do your build compared to your normal playstyle?
Well, I mean, the thing about Diablo 3 is you can't really do that. It's all what the gods give you. So I'm kind of just going to wait and see what the builds dictate. Now I've got a build mapped out for every element and for different spenders. I have a chalkboard in my room that is just
what class, by the way?
Wizard, always wizard, forever wizard.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, I know. But no, I've got like my arcane build, my fire build, my cold build, and my lightning build, just in case what drops I get early. And then now, obviously, I'm aiming for Firebird set late with my wizard. But until they get all the bugs and stuff fixed, wizards are going to be in a weird spot.
Yeah, Firebirds is still. Isn't that already fixed? I mean, they said this afternoon it was on the hotfix list during that live stream. I haven't checked.
They say it's fixed, but I mean, maybe it is fixed. I'm not sure. I have to read more on the forums, but I know that after they said it was fixed, it's critting. Basically, the last hit of the Firebird set, if it crits, then your ticks are 100 million plus. It's the damage it was doing on PTR. It's really, really good. If the last hit is not a crit, or if it's a Hydra hit, because Hydra's not proccing anything still, then it's a low 10 to 15 million tick and is not even worth your time. But you can reset it by taking off a piece of your gear and putting it back on to refresh the stack. And then
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's seriously it's a bug, but I mean, I don't know. I'm really curious to see if that's really how they're intending it to be, or because that's not the way it played on PTR at all.
Oh, my thought would be they're planning on changing it so that the crit damage and chance is just factored in ahead of time, but they're probably just not quite there yet.
Yeah, Hydra's just still not factoring in any of those, so it's still weird.
The live stream 3 hours ago, John Yang talked about Firebird set and what they're fixing, and basically what you just said, that if it doesn't, it's not always getting the crit in the first hit, and then it's basically most people have 400% crit or so. So
right.
Your damage is either 10 or 50, basically, and factors thereof, obviously.
Yes. And
they said that was supposed to be fixed. They know what the bug is, and it's supposed to incorporate everything. And it was actually on the pending hotfix list at the time of the live stream.
Okay.
Which was 4 hours ago, so it might actually be working by now. I haven't checked I mean, obviously you can look at the current issues.
Yeah.
But we are digressing from ladders here somewhat.
Yeah.
So what is your plan, MT1? What is your class? What is your main class now? What are you going to be doing in the ladders? Is it the same build, etc.?
I'm an all-around kind of player, but I'll be focusing on my female hardcore demon hunter. I lost her.
Why do you say female demon hunter? Is there another kind?
I just wanted to be careful around you, Flux. I know you get offended easily
about that. You're acting like there's another option. I'm puzzled. I mean, what is the other?
Wasn't that the greatest feature of Diablo 3, being able to pick your gender? That was totally worth throwing away actual character development, right?
They're always exactly the same. Like the male and the female barbarian leap exactly the same way, so that was never a problem.
Yeah, now they do.
Well, the female was obviously a little top heavier, but so go ahead. So you're all classes, but you're not sure which one.
Oh no, I'm definitely running my female demon hunter in hardcore
Nice.
for season starting out. Unfortunately, not as many of my hardcore friends are returning to the game now for the patch, or at least have let me know they're returning. So I'm hoping I can get with a good group for that, so that I can stay motivated there and don't wind up switching back to softcore because more people are playing on that I know. As far as builds go, it's going to be super defensive because I really don't want to lose her again. But it's the changes that they've made to the class and survivability feel so good. I know losing all resist from one with everything was a big hit to monks, but I'll tell you what, having armor instead of dodge makes me feel like I can actually take 3 hits before I die with my demon hunter. Totally different
I think
feeling.
one with everything is not going to matter in the seasons because people only miss that if they already had 6 items that had lightning resistance.
Yeah,
right?
and a lot of them invested in making those items that way. So they took near perfect items and then they spent a significant amount of resources. So I can totally understand being angry about that.
But in seasons, obviously, you won't do that because with everything doesn't exist
Right.
in that form anymore. So it seems like it'll be easier for monks in some ways. I was actually going to do a monk if I have enough time to play, which apparently I'm not going to, at least until like next week. But I haven't played a monk since the beta, really, and they keep making all these buffs and changes. And I'm like, I kind of miss the monk. It'd be fun to do it again.
Yeah, it's
And I was
really
going to do a hardcore monk, but I just don't. I have a little bit of time Friday night, but then I'm busy all day Saturday and Sunday, and so much website stuff. It's not going to be happening.
it's really enjoyable when you actually are able to put out some damage now and not just play the support role.
And you don't feel like you're punching like twice a minute anymore either.
Right,
apparently.
you got decent speed again. We used to have good speed on that class. They decided to cut it down on us for some strange reason.
So it does feel good again then?
I enjoyed it, but I didn't play at high level. My monk build that I had been running was that Tempest Rush, Epiphany, Eternal Run, everything on the screen dies at low difficulty build that they nerfed because apparently being able to run T1 and T2 super efficiently is not fair. But it's totally fair for someone to be able to just leap through an area and have everything burn behind them, or have just your pets or sentries kill everything for you. Those are all fine, but not running past things and having little fire avatars smack things for you. So
you're not bitter or anything. Though.
If I had a main, it would have been a monk. I played it almost exclusively until I hit that gear wall that we all did, trying to get into Inferno 1 and 2. Or Act 1 and 2, way back at launch. And I was like, okay, I guess I got to try another class that doesn't have to stand right next to the enemy and get killed in 2 hits. So, like, that was my first desired class to play, and it finally felt like a blast to play again, and now they're removing that. But now it feels pretty good actually fighting at melee range, whereas before it was a little bit slow for a monk, for what a monk should be. But the Demon Hunter, I think, is going to be awesome. I just am wondering how long it's going to take me to gear up. I kind of hit the perfect storm with my softcore Demon Hunter in gearing with Marauders, because right when they first put the set items into Kadala's inventory, you could get them all the time, it felt like. And now it seems like they don't quite reward you the same way as they did initially. I think they might have put it in with the wrong number. But I geared 4 or 5 pieces from Kadala. During that first week they added them, and now you don't see it as often when you're gambling. So hopefully I will hit what I need. Not too much other necessary gear other than that set for having a somewhat defensive Demon Hunter.
Slightly off topic, but I'm wondering about with gambling and Kadala is they keep adding more and more legendaries. I mean, if they keep adding a dozen or 2 dozen every single season, in like 3 years there's going to be like 85 legendaries of every single item type, right? It's going to be hard to gamble the gloves you want when there's 27 set gloves and 45 legendary gloves. It's like, hey, I got another legendary, but it's not the one I want.
Yeah.
I wonder if I'll have to do something about that at some point.
Yeah, my thought.
Oh, sorry.
Go for it. Nerdwords.
Well, they were talking about on the theory, the Play Your Way Thursday thing that they did last week, which actually wasn't a Play Your Way Thursdays, with Wyatt and John. They were talking about how they really want to do season specific sets for classes, and that was my immediate thought was like they're only doing 1 item per class this season, and it's already, you start to see if they do several seasons depending on how long they last, it's going to really flood in with more legendaries. I mean, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I love the idea of new legendaries and stuff like that, but you're right, in a little while it's going to make it just ridiculous.
Yeah, with legendaries being required to run the builds you want, they're going to have to figure out a way to let you focus more on the specific items you want to acquire. Otherwise, it's just going to feel kind of pointless again. Yeah, they can up the rates all they want, but if all we're getting is the other sets, I mean, it's just going to feel like a futile goal to try and actually gear with the set you want and the exact items you want. So hopefully they will figure out a way to do it without making it farm this same boss over and over and over again for these specific set pieces. I mean, I would do that, but I'd prefer them to go a different way.
It was funny in Diablo 3 Vanilla, you would just find some of the same legendaries so many times. I can't remember, what was the one shield? It was like you'd find it like twice a game. I blanked on all the names now, but yeah, Ivory Tower was like, oh god, another Ivory Tower, man. I could pull Rapunzel out of this thing if I had another one of these. It was just ridiculous how many of those you'd get. And they've changed that up, it seems like now, but I'm wondering if there's going to be so many of them. Maybe Do you guys remember how it worked in Diablo 2 Classic with gambling, where it was bugged?
Yeah.
And you could never find a unique if you actually had that unique on your character?
Yep.
So maybe someday they can put that in on purpose in Kadala, and you'll just be there with 15 legendary gloves in your stash,
you can't get
or in
the one.
your inventory.
You know,
I need the one I don't have.
I actually would like that method, and that's something they changed with legendary gems. You only get one copy of the gem by killing the Greater Rift Guardians.
Yeah, and if it's on your character or in your stash,
yeah,
you will not
except
get
if you
another.
give it to another character. So I had Enforcer on my Witch Doctor, and I got another Enforcer for my Demon Hunter. So it's like you can control. I mean, you'll wind up with all the legendary gems, but you can control which ones you're going to get. I think that would be interesting if they gave you some more control on which items you're going to acquire.
That's been a common request of the whole magic find thing. Where can we get specific kinds of magic find? Like I want to find more, rings or more amulets or more whatever. And they, now we're looking for specific. I want more green boots, and I just want Marauders boots. This kind of stuff.
Well, one thing that
You wonder how they can enable that.
totally off topic, well, not off topic of this, but off topic of ladders
So
and
we're
seasons.
going off topic of the off topic.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about their Devil's Hand idea. They're having specific bounties or specific monsters to kill, and then you can earn a reward. They could totally use that as a recurring thing where, kind of like an MMO, you can only do one set of Devil's Hand a day, but you can essentially turn in that quest or several of those quests for a specific item. I think that would be a very interesting idea for them to implement, and would give people very focused goals for a day of playing.
I'm still surprised they don't do it like World of Warcraft or something, where they kind of have loot tables.
Yeah.
Like these monsters are much more likely to drop armor than these, or more likely to drop weapons. But then that still doesn't help us with wanting a specific pair of gloves for your set. So
Right.
who knows? Oh yeah, how are you guys going to play? I mean, you mentioned you had a whole party going Nerdwords.
Yes.
You're going to be with all your friends and you're team working your way up. Do you think that'll be helpful, better than playing solo? And what are you going to be playing? You guys are just going to go adventure mode and just do bounties?
Yeah, well, essentially, but kind of targeted bounties.
Let's look for the easy ones, basically.
Ish. It's really more like focused farming. So my group, it's a 4-person group, obviously. I basically cold called all my friends that played and was like, hey, so Seasons is starting, are you down? And like a couple guys were like, oh, I didn't know, yeah, absolutely, I'll jump in. And then like I had a couple that were already on actually and were getting ready for it themselves. So I'm running.
Did you assign them classes, or are they
No,
to make that choice themselves?
well, pretty much everyone kind of chose based on each other. We got in Skype and had we're talking about it, and I'm always rolling Wizard. So my brother's actually rolling a Witch Doctor, because that way he can play off of my drops that I don't use. And then the other two in the group are running Crusader and Barb, so they can play off their drops, so that you're at least trying to maximize, as much as possible. We could run 4 int or 4 strength classes, but I'm not running a strength class, and so yeah, there's that. But yeah, so our goal is going to be to jump in and just go straight into the highest level we can possibly farm, do all Act 1 bounties, select bounties from 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 5, and then all of Act 4 bounties, and then do at least a full clear on West March Commons before we get out. And just do that all the way up to 70. That way, once we hit 70, we're just stacked with Rift keys to just do Rifts, and not use any of the Rift keys until we hit 70. And then once we hit 70, I actually want to get a little bit of gear to get into Torment 1, and then I want to farm the Greed's Domain so I can get a good stock of gold for the season.
So you haven't really given it much thought, then, obviously.
Yeah, no, I've totally, like I said, I've got a chalkboard. I'm ridiculous.
You got like literally written on your wall in your room.
Yeah,
You
literally
have notes
do.
and plans
I'll have
and
to
like a
send you a
bullet
picture.
points and stuff.
Yep.
Once again, the bar has been set.
My plans are a lot more limited. I'm hoping to get a few people from my friends list together to run hardcore. I was trying to convince some of the people who are more focused on the softcore spectrum to bounce over during seasons when everyone's starting out at nil anyway. But my plan as far as leveling goes is very similar to his. Run all of Act 1, run a couple of select quests beyond that, although basically all the ones that gave insane XP rewards no longer do so. And
Yeah, in the patch notes, they nerfed 8 quests, eight bounties or something, so they've turned them down.
But in reality, they were ones that needed to be changed because they were so much more rewarding than the alternatives. And then hold on to the keys, because my number one goal is not to hit 70 instantly. Not that I will delay myself, but You could get a little bit more XP by running rifts, but I'd rather try and use the rifts to get gear. That's my focus once I use my rift keys.
That's where I keep arguing with myself, is because do you really get more XP from just running rifts, or do you get more XP from running higher level bounties with the quest rewards? Like, I know it's probably a minor min-max thing, but I keep second guessing myself in what I want to do. So I'm just gonna save all my keys for 70. That way I'm not getting legendaries until then,
Right.
at least as much as possible.
Right. I think if you have the goal of gearing right when you're at 70, which everyone should have,
Right.
then it makes total sense to save the keys. I think there's probably a very minor increase in XP gain if you're running rifts as well, but it's not enough of one to justify using your keys in my mind.
Right.
Some people would prefer to level faster, but I'd rather be prepared when I hit 70 to actually get some gear.
Right.
It's only one key now. I mean, people haven't been playing in patch 2.1. They still think it's 5 keys. It's only one key. Of course, in a 4-person game, you all need your own key now, as opposed to just 5 total. So there's not much of a difference in the total amount of keys needed.
Right.
But if you're doing it solo, you need 20% as many rift keys as you used to need.
Yeah.
Right.
Much more convenient to run an act of bounties and then be able to do 6 rifts from that. That's pretty nice.
See, with theory crafting factored in, I feel like once we hit 70 and we've got 200 however many keys, that's a lot of rifts to get in and get greater rift tokens, which will then in turn we can just lobby farm and get as much gear as possible. Just the camping out the timer or whatever. That's what I plan on doing as much as possible. But I mean, that could always adjust on the fly. That's just what my initial game plan is.
That's what I've been doing with my time since 2.1 launched. I've actually been. At first, I was testing myself in Greater Rifts again, and then I almost lost my hardcore Witch Doctor, and I was like, maybe not. Let's just make sure I have all of my legendary gems. So I've been doing, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, up to about 10, and then I fail 10 on purpose and upgrade a couple of gems, and then do it again from the beginning. And
see, I've had the same idea. I tested myself, and then I just started farming.
Right. If your goal is gear, it's still more efficient to farm the lower ones. If you're going for XP, which some people are still focused on Paragon, then you definitely want to be higher than those levels. But gear-wise, it's very close.
XP, I was trying to see my name on that ladder.
Right. Well, I was on the ladder the first night in hardcore, but of course then people completely trounced me.
Yeah, I think I was. I'm not anymore, I don't believe.
Yeah.
What is your bar for success? You obviously have plans for the method. Are you hoping to be one of the first 1,000 in your class to get to level 70, stay on the leaderboard forever? Are you planning on just, do you want to get to Paragon 100 by the end of the weekend or something? What is your long-term goal there? Or short-term goal, I guess?
Short-term goal is obviously to hit 70 as soon as possible and get into Torment 1. That's my short-term goal. My long-term goal, obviously, is Firebird 6-piece and it to be hot-fixed and not broken. That said, I'm really excited to compete on the ladders. I'm not going to be able to compete with a lot of players out there. I mean, I'm pretty good with my class, and I play exclusively in my class, but there's some ridiculous wizard players out there, so it's going to be hard to get up there. But if I could just exist within the ladder, I'll be happy with that, I feel like. And just the fresh start with a fresh character and stuff is enough for me to be excited about playing. I don't want to get too overzealous with competing because there's just too many good players out there.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward just to the leveling race myself. I don't think I will even, make it into that top 1,000 based on the fact I'll probably be starting a little bit behind some other people. But if I do, that is great. And I'm a big achievement person, so trying to get some of these conquests before other people earn them will definitely be one of my goals. Will I be immortalized as one of the greatest Seasons players ever? Definitely not. But can I get some stuff accomplished this weekend while I'm playing nonstop? I plan to, for sure.
I think I'm mostly excited just for the idea of it, getting in with 3 of my friends and playing all weekend. That just sounds like an awesome weekend.
Yeah, it's like a new game launch almost. Yep. I mean, I would encourage everyone, even the people who are thinking that Seasons is pointless, at least give it a try to level up to 70. Completely different feel than when you're getting power leveled by other people.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll think of you guys on Saturday and Sunday when I'm working 9 hours each day. I'll be just my thoughts and prayers will be with you.
I appreciate that.
At least if you're hardcore, hoping you die.
Wow.
Yeah, that got ugly. That escalated quickly, right? So.
All right, I'm going to softcore.
So what do you think how do you think it's going to go on the whole? I mean, what do you think the bar for the whole community is going to be? Are there going to be like 1,000 level 70s every class like Saturday night, or
Oh,
how long will this
absolutely. I
take?
mean, it only takes about 8 hours to get to level 70 if you're like putting any sort of like real effort into it and grinding it out. You could do it in about 8 to 10 hours. So that said, I would be shocked if it's not full up by Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm thinking that there will be people getting it done on Friday night, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
I'm hoping
some
of
me.
some of the leveling methods that people have planned give pretty insane benefits, but require, of course, reloading for specific quests. I'm not going to be doing any of that because I'd rather just play the game. Yeah, I think they'll be full within the first 2 days for sure.
That kind of makes the whole leaderboards thing pointless if it's all full in 2 days, right?
Well,
and then you got another 2.5 or 3 months of no changes. I mean, obviously the greater rifts have changed.
Not really though, because it's not level based like Diablo 2. It's time based. So I mean, even if I don't jump in, if Flux, if you don't jump in until next Friday, but you end up running a rift at like a ridiculous time or whatever, like you're gonna still be on the ladder. So it's not a matter of, it's like Diablo. Oh, I hit 99, so now this is my spot. I'm there. It's hey, I cleared Rift 34 in 6 minutes, and this guy cleared it in 6 minutes 13 seconds. So bam, I'm on the spot. So that's the thing I'm excited about. This is that it's not so like time investment as so much as it is actual skill or group composition, which either way I think is really cool.
Or great luck with drops.
Yeah, I was thinking the leaderboards that are there's leaderboards that only measure the first 1,000 people to reach level 70.
Oh, I didn't even realize
that'll be full.
I don't think that there is one that's solely level based, except for if there are conquests linked to it. So
for the seasons, there is the first 1,000 level 70s every class is going to be a thing, and the same with conquest. Obviously that's not running now. The only leaderboards we have now are greater rifts.
Right.
Okay.
And the greater rifts will go forever, but. And a lot of the conquests are tough. It's like 5 characters to 70 and stuff. I'm pretty much ruling you out on that one, Nerdwords. By the way,
yeah,
5
wizards. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that actually might be. I mean, they have a whole list in the patch notes. I haven't read them all recently.
That would be epic.
What are your achievements, by the way, Nerdwords? I mean, on your current, because you only play wizards. I mean, how many points do you have?
Let me get back to you on that. I'll pull it up.
Like 3,000, 4,000, 6,000, 5,000?
I think it's over 5,000. I'm not sure.
I would have thought this was even possible, because I thought so many of them were multiple classes.
And without hardcore.
Well, I have played other classes to just get achievements. I told you that.
Well, you're cheating then.
I literally got them to 70, did all the achievements I could, like all the little skill achievements, and like kill them with this many people, or killed this many people with this spell or whatever achievements I could, and then would just like literally like shard all the gear and
just delete the characters.
No, I actually still have the characters. I just shard all the gear and leave them sitting.
Well, because the next expansion you'll need to get on level 80 to get that achievement again,
right.
So it'll save you 70 levels.
Well, and it was because in vanilla I knew they were going to raise the level cap, and I didn't want to level from 1 to 70. 60 to 70 is much easier. So
yeah, it's funny. I kick people like you out of the clan all the time.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, not lately, but like the first month we had tons. We didn't have any entrance requirements on our hardcore clans initially, except that you were hardcore, and tons of people joined in. And then after like 3 weeks, there were many people who you never saw active. And I would just go through it and look, and there's no tools for clans where you can see like when they last logged on or whatever.
Yeah.
But you would just look, and there'd be all these people that had level 70s and had 0 Paragon points. And it's like after 4 weeks, you have no Paragon points. Obviously they just did someone to 70 for the achievement, and then they never logged on again.
Yeah.
At least not in hardcore. So we were the clan was completely full constantly. So I just kept going through and kicking everybody who had no Paragon points.
See, I would just
like, sorry, but obviously you're not playing.
See, after I sharded all the gear and all that stuff, I would just rock back onto my my wizard. So I was still playing. I just was just doing achievements.
Yeah, but just because there's only 150 people out in a clan, and we were always full. So,
yeah.
Like you wanted active members, not monuments to their previous gameplay.
Right. Exactly. Hang on.
So any other seasons thoughts? I mean, you guys are just looking forward to it, and have you been waiting and hoping we'd have seasons forever?
Yeah, I was expecting it earlier in the month, but I'm glad it finally got to us for sure.
like my first wife said once.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I've been anxious for it literally since they announced they were going to do it, and I've been on the PTR pretty much since they launched it, and then had to come off that because I was like, getting too much gear that I wanted in live. So I'm very, very anxious to get in. Oh yeah, and speaking of achievements, I'm bugged, so I can't even see my achievement points anyway.
If you look at your clan pane, I think your achievement points will show up there.
Ah.
I do focus on achievements. I apologize.
How many achievements do you have?
7,100.
Ooh.
Is that even possible?
Yeah.
What is the most possible?
I think 75, but that would include all the insane ones that are...
Well, they made a bunch of those easier. You didn't have to kill 15,000 trees.
Right, right. They did patch that over, thank God. But I haven't seen it since... I think I'm at 7,100 even with that, unfortunately. I'm nearing the end of the bounties and the rift requirement. I might have the trees done with the lower requirements.
So you're basically just hoping for more achievements when they have a patch.
Yeah, the conquests. They're going to add to my achievement points, right?
I have no idea. Probably.
If they don't, I'm going to be highly disappointed.
It's your whole goal.
That was the thing I was looking
achievements.
forward to most in the patch, for my number to change.
What if they reset achievements in seasons?
Oh.
You get to learn them all again.
Oh,
I
man.
think they basically do, to tell you the truth. I mean, your
I honestly don't even know.
your achievement
I mean,
points
they
are
reset them on the
still
PTR,
there.
but that's an accident.
I think your achievement points are still there, but you can re-earn them within seasons, because some of the conquests they had were earn this many achievement points during seasons.
Maybe it's all new.
Yeah, so I can
So
earn them
what you're-
all
what you're-
again.
Those get kind of annoying when you're first playing a character and like every barbarian turned over a rock and there's like sparkling graphics on the screen. You know.
Well, that's how greater rifts are now. It pops up every time you actually make it to the leaderboard. It pops up with this big banner on your screen. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I've seen those too.
I'm not.
I've seen
Woohoo!
pretty much all the hardcore ones. I've seen that constantly.
Yeah, woohoo! I made it to number 700. Congratulations, me. Someone will pass me in the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, it's only been 3
Right.
days. You know, that'll obviously fill up.
That's right, for sure.
Have you guys given any thought to gold and economy and stuff? It seems pretty
Yes.
nice that they have this whole double gold thing. Well, not double, but 100% more gold find
That
when seasons start, because you're poor at the start.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I said my goal was Torment 1 by Saturday/Sunday, because I really want to hit Greed's Domain on Torment 1 at least before then. So to take advantage of the double gold/double goblins.
In a 4-player game, that's like 100 million probably.
Exactly. And to start a season, I'll be set up and good to go.
That's a lot of gym upgrades.
Yep.
Yeah, I just added a video to the Greed's Domain wiki page a couple days ago, and some guy was on T6 and he had a bunch of gold find gear, and he was putting all the gold find gear on to open up all the boxes,
Yeah.
and then he'd go back to his regular gear, and he got I think 650 million for the whole level
Wow.
in 8 minutes. It's like that's a lot of gym upgrades.
That's amazing.
That'll cover your Mystic for the foreseeable future. You know?
Let's just hope Blizzard doesn't decide to nerf that. I mean, gold has the value of allowing us to have a little more control of our characters, but it doesn't give us any buying power against other players. So
Yeah, I think I don't think they care. They wanted a bonus level. If it's too much, they'll just make it harder to get or something. You know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
right.
I don't think they care that much. It's like you say, it's not like you can buy. You can't go to the auction house and finally get your trifecta Nats ring or whatever, right?
Right.
Not that 650 million would have bought you that.
Not
anyway,
at all.
Yeah, right.
You could have got a one.
But wait a second, you could have gotten 4 of them. You could have gotten 4 Greed's domains, and then you would have had your money that you needed to buy whatever you wanted on the gold auction house if you could beat the bots.
I was about to say, but what he's talking about would probably just be a real money auction house for about $250.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
people would throw those things on gold auction house, and they'd be bought instantly by the bots for $2 billion.
Yep. Resell them.
We did that whole. Like I had that whole article about that recently.
Great read. I cannot recommend that more highly. I was enthralled by that, and the few times I felt like I did get a good deal on something, I just realized I was getting ripped off immensely.
Yeah, I think that's all that article really did was make you feel like, oh, that one time where I did something on the real money auction house. Now I'm just like,
Yeah, I remember
I
getting
fail.
I remember getting my trifecta amulet that was just awesome, except for the fact that it was super expensive, and I'm sure people bought them for much less than that all the time, and then just relisted them.
yep.
Yeah, but you got to just be happy that you got to use it.
That's correct.
You can't compare yourself to the ultimate auction house wheeler dealer bot.
And I
machine.
certainly would never have found the item myself. So
Yeah. Well, now you can.
that's
Everything's all
exactly
different
right.
now.
Thank goodness the game has changed over to a game you actually can win at or do well at by playing.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that they made that change. And actually surprised related to that they haven't added in microtransactions yet. Like I expected that to happen, especially with seasons going. Some people need more character slots. Why aren't they selling them?
In stash space.
Right. I'd pay. I'd keep giving them money to level up more characters for no point.
And Nerdwords like, yeah, I have 9 wizards. I don't care.
No, yeah, we talked
I
about
have
that.
9 wizards and 5 retired level 60.
We talked about that last week. How I was the one person who doesn't need more stash space. I'm actually good. I've got a whole empty tab just chilling.
Oh, can I store some stuff on yours? Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
absolutely,
Bounce.
man. I'm renting it out like 200,000 gold a week.
Yeah, good luck. How are you going to pay him gold?
Oh yeah,
I gotta find Greed's domain for him. Oh wait,
Yeah,
join my game when I've already found it. Crap.
Yep.
Yeah, let's tell you to farm Greed's domain all day, and when you finally find it, you send him a text, and he gets online and jumps in it. That's the only way you can pay anyone
But
anymore.
you can't anymore. They made it so
Yeah.
you can't join Greed's domain if someone else found it in game without you.
What you have to do is like if you find a goblin, call it out. I just broadcast it on my my BattleNet thing, and anyone that wants to pop in and try to get a rift with me. And if it doesn't, then whatever, leave. But if it does, sweet.
What are you running
Profit.
difficulty-wise? Are you actually doing it in T6?
Yeah, I always. I mean, the group I run with, we pretty much run T6, unless I'm like working with some real life friends, and I'll carry them through like T3, T4, T5, depending.
Gotcha. Yeah, have some T6 friends, but they most of them have taken a break from the game, and I'm really hoping they're going to get back on now with seasons.
See, I took a break from the game to play the console Diablo 3 the last week. That's literally the break from the game that I took. So.
Excellent.
Well, that was the theory that Blizzard had, was the seasons would bring people back, and if people were feeling like, if all your friends are Paragon 600 and you're Paragon, 210, it's like they have so much better gear than you. It's like it's not fun to play. Like you just said, your real life friends are on T3 and you're like, you're T6. You're like,
right.
you're playing blindfolded just to kill.
It's
time.
actually worse than that. My real life friends are on T1, maybe T2. I just whenever I play
Do
with
the
them,
work.
Yeah, I'm just carrying. I mean, like they survive, and that's about all. But that's why I'm kind of like excited for the fresh start too, because they'll be on the same playing field as me, and we can kind of go up together, at least for the
Friday
first
night, yeah.
couple nights. Yeah,
Right,
and
yeah.
one's Monday and next
by
week.
Sunday
it's-
morning, you're on T4, and they're like, "What?"
Oh no, they're not even gonna be. They probably won't even play seasons for real. They're literally just like they're hanging out with me while I do it, and they might jump in every now and then or whatever. But Diablo's not nearly their focus like it is me.
Fools.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing, off topic, Greater Rifts. It's new, and you guys have been kind of power leveling. So you're doing them on T6. So what is your highest GR there on Nerdwords, and how do you feel having a content that's actually harder than T6 works out for you?
I've only actually pushed myself through 2 tries, so I haven't really gotten very high into it. I got by myself, I got to 28. In a group, I got to 39. But
Which is close to the record. I think the record group now is what, like 42 or 41?
yeah, it was pretty up there, and it was an all wizard group too. But I've noticed.
Well, what other class is there?
Yeah, exactly. But I noticed. I don't know if it's reflex damage is eating me up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's like bugged or what's happening. But like my molten impact meteor hits a pack of reflex damage, does nothing to me. My familiar or anything else does nothing to me. But when I hit him with like conflag from mirror with a mirror ball or whatever, literally like one shot in the dot just drains my life instantly. I'm dead. So I spent like 28 or whatever running back to my body. I finished it, but I finished it like literally 15 or 20 seconds past the timer. So I was like, well, dang. And then I knew Seasons was coming, so I was like, I'm just going to wait to test myself till then.
Yeah, I think that it was 26 on my Crusader, my softcore Crusader, and I was doing 24 and was flying through 24 with my hardcore Witch Doctor, and like I said, I got very close to dying. I almost never proc my lifesaver, and I procced it, and it was against a group of the stinking corrupted angel things flying around
yep,
from
I had
Act 4,
those.
and I was like, okay, I'm just going to take this super slow. And I took so long on them, I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it now. I'll just kill a couple more elites and wait for the Rift boss. So it was like I had to stop myself, and it's cool to actually feel in danger again. But at the same time, I'm not sure how many people are going to get into the hardcore Greater Rifts when when they are so dangerous.
Well, and something I was going to say too,
now.
when the rift that I was doing with my wizard, I'm not running Firebirds right now. Now, mind you, it is still bugged, but Firebirds is really the only way to push higher Greater Rifts on a wizard right now. I'm running Taurashas, which is an awesome visual set and a lot of fun to play, but as far as like pushing the higher end Greater Rifts, you're not going to hit Greater Rift 35, 36, 37 with Taurashas set right now probably.
Yeah, the legendary gems, I mean, they're expecting you to have those things leveled up in order to be hitting those higher Greater Rift levels.
And I don't even have a socketed jewelry to put it in yet, so I'm just
Enforcer's the only one I've actually been using and leveling to increase pet damage with my Witch Doctor. Mm-hmm. The other ones are kind of fun, gimmicky things as far as I'm concerned, what I've actually been able to use them for. The smite from heaven used to be so powerful on the PTR, and now it procs barely ever. I mean,
Yeah.
they toned it down so much that it moved from being one of the most cool, overpowered, fun things to just feeling like it's almost useless. I'd rather have attack speed on my amulet than have that in there, which is really sad.
Yeah.
I am looking at the live hotfixes right now, and they still have Fireberg's Finery in the upcoming. So
Yeah.
Okay.
hopefully by the seasons, of course, you won't find it the first night. Well, maybe you will find it the first night. But most people won't find it.
If
the
I
first
find it the
night.
first night, I'll be mad because the odds of it being at level 70 would be very low.
But it's a 70 set.
Oh, yeah, it's a
so-
70 set, so yeah, whatever. I'm good. I honestly don't plan on finding it until at least next week. I don't plan on... If I find a piece of Firebirds before next week, I'll eat crow, but I really don't think I will.
Tell you what,
You'll find Firebirds and eat crow, huh?
the mirror ball, man, that's what I would want. That changed my build more than anything
When I hit
else.
70, I've gambled like 12 of those on live,
Yeah.
and I just gamble those all day. Those are fun.
Yeah, I think those are absolutely build changing because you can put out more damage with your free spell than you can with any of the spells.
Not anymore. Not anymore. They nerfed it.
Oh, why do you mean they nerfed it? What did they do to the mirror ball?
I mean, it's not awful. It's still good. But they cut down the dot on it. It's not. It doesn't do the ridiculous damage. It doesn't infinitely stack anymore. It only stacks up to 3
that's
times.
the issue. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, con flag
It's the
component.
source of your success, right?
It was.
So, I guess that's it. We're talking to you guys and a couple of other, actually, like 6 people who are regulars on the podcast are all going into seasons heavily, or at least they claim to be doing so. I don't know if they have lists on their walls to be. That's obviously the new standard.
Yeah.
If you don't have a whiteboard on your wall with like a notes, the detailed plan, then you're not really a hardcore.
That's
Or that's a small H hardcore.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were talking to you guys again and some other podcast guests on Sunday night about how it went the first 2.5 days, first 52 hours or something like that by the time I record the thing, and see how it goes and what you were expecting. And obviously you guys can make some notes as you level up and see exciting things. I mean, you get to level 27. And when you find that, Thunder Fury at 68 and spend 5 minutes cursing, it's like, oh, god damn it, 68! Close. But, at least you won't find your Firebirds until 70.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you guys are going into season tonight, the listeners enjoy, and level up, and obviously you need to get a list on your wall. I have a notepad with like 3 words on it on my computer, which isn't quite the same thing. But
I have a notepad too, actually.
yeah, we're just amateurs.
Those are for the quick jots. So.
Gosh.
So good looking seasons, and we will be back on Sunday with you posted on Monday probably to talk about how the weekend goes, and let's hope it's not another DDoS attack or something
Yeah.
that levels the entire BattleNet world.
With
I'll
all
be
the streamers
furious.
moving back over to this game, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened, unfortunately.
Let's hope not. Okay, you've been listening to the Diablo 3 podcast. We are online at DiabloLinkGamers.com, and enjoy your seasons weekend.
Moo? Moo?